Lenora Edwards. She is a board-certified speech and language therapist, and she is part of betterspeech.com, which is an affordable online speech therapy via a website. We're going to ask her to tell us much more about that. Lenora, are you with us?
I am with you. I absolutely loved the last number of minutes that you were talking. You had such amazing insights. So thank you for sharing that with your community. It's a difference that makes all the difference.
Thank you. So Lenora, tell us, because speech is another thing that we know it's going to be an important component for anyone who has a diagnosis of autism, because there is always, even when we're looking at the different types of autism, there is always a speech component to it. So this is an important area that needs to be looked at. I think sometimes it's greatly overlooked because a lot of schools will provide just enough speech and language that everybody goes, oh, well, that must be all that I need. But you've got a pretty interesting solution. So talk to us a little bit about who you are and what betterspeech.com is.
Absolutely. So at Better Speech, we are over 150 speech therapists across the world, and we're also international based. And the reason it works so well is because we are completely online, and we're able to provide online therapy services in every state. So for example, I live in the state of Pennsylvania, one state, but I am licensed in 4 states. And that allows us to reach more people. And that's a great thing. Speech therapy services are completely needed right now. And there is a shortage. And unfortunately, especially when it comes to schools, the speech therapists have specific numbers that they can accept. For example, they can carry a caseload of a very specific number. So if your child is close, but doesn't technically qualify, your child might not get speech therapy services simply because other children need them and they don't have the ability to fill that situation. And that is the true reality of things that are going on. And it's heartbreaking because children need speech therapy services, but also adults need speech therapy services. And with Better Speech, we are able to cover both, all from the comfort of someone's home.
Well, that's pretty amazing. And I do want to say, especially because for many reasons, it's summer now. Everybody's going on summer break. And I know schools, sometimes if you push hard enough, they'll provide just a little bit of speech, but it ends up being such a pain in the neck because they make it that hard for you that you can't get to it. It gets in line with other therapies and you're having to choose between. But it's not a time to let the speech ball drop. In fact, I'm always making the case it's the time to make up ground while you're doing other things. So having it affordable and easy to do online, and you guys have had great success with this, being able to do this online. You know, speech therapy can work in this modality. It's a really wonderful thing. So let's talk about how would people sign up to do this? Where do you go? What does it look like? So on and so forth.
Super easy. Simply visit betterspeech.com and there's a button that says free consultation. We offer a complimentary consultation to every single person. And that's something I'm incredibly proud of, especially when you pointed out people are on these wait lists for so long. The fact that we offer a complimentary consultation, you can speak with a speech language pathologist right now. It's 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So you can call us up and you can speak with somebody immediately. Or if you're like me and you roll over at 2 a.m. and you have questions, you can reach somebody the very next day. And I think that's so important. We don't have 3 months or 6 months to wait to speak with a professional. And these little minds and bodies are growing. They're not going to wait for somebody to get there.
Yeah, I'm imagining that you guys make it super fun for them on doing
Very
it
much
online.
so.
That's got to be a big key to this. So if they go to betterspeech.com, they can do the free consultation, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, I'm not sure if my child would do this. But during the consultation, those are the kinds of things that they can get to feel more comfortable about.
Absolutely. And we offer a session-to-session option or a monthly option. Okay. So you can speak with a professional, but also once you have a clinician that's established with you and your family, you then get to see how that rapport is, all from the comfort of your home. And the beautiful thing is, sometimes in school, as the clinician that's in the school, I don't get the opportunity to talk with a family and explain what I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, how to implement it at home. And that's a difference that makes a huge difference, because our role is to educate those that are with this individual. And the fact that we're online, we're in the place that you're most comfortable, you get to be a part of, the parent or guardian gets to be a part of the therapy session, you get to record it, and you get to ask questions and understand why we're doing what we're doing. Makes a massive difference in the success. And also the child that is with us gets to know that they're seen and that they're heard and that they're loved, because everybody's coming together to support them.
Well, we love that. And Chelsea, you and I have a Vulcan mind meld, because this is where I was going next. I had the opportunity to look at your website a little bit last night, and I noticed that you cover a lot of different things, including apraxia. And they want to know, I didn't see, but they want to know, do you do dyspraxia as well?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So our intention is to help. How can we provide services to that individual? So if there is any sort of communication, whether it be they have their language skills, and we're talking about turn taking, and we're talking about how to integrate into a conversation, especially as a tween or a teenager and they don't have those social skills, how to tell a joke, knowing when to laugh appropriately, knowing when to leave. That's a part of communication. We also work on the sequencing, such as an apraxia, whereas that little one knows what they want to say, but they're having difficulty organizing through that sequence. That's a big thing, and that's important because we want them to be able to communicate. Now, if it comes to using a device, a lot of the time we'll hear families say, well, I really want them to be verbal. And the beauty with the device is that it supports improvement toward verbal, because we want that individual to understand that they can communicate for themselves. They actually have a voice, and whether the voice is coming out of a device or it's coming out of their mouth, what we're doing is we're helping to empower them to communicate.
Absolutely. Joanne says, we need more speech. Do you accept insurance and Medicaid? We're in Pennsylvania too. Excuse me.
Love that you're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We do accept insurance, and we also provide a super bill. So what that is a document that you can take to your insurance company that will carry the important information that they need to ensure that services are covered.
Wonderful. Liliana says, that is so true. The lack of speech pathologist services, these kids can't wait or be put on a waiting list, wasting precious time to help develop this skill. I think it's actually even worse than that too, because as you were saying, that piece that you were saying about in a school, they can only take on a certain number of kids. We have so many families that have been pushed out of their speech services, even though they know that their child still needs to work on those pragmatics that you were talking about. They need to work on the social language. Or kids that are still having a difficulty with a sound, but because they can make enough sound, they get bumped out as, they're not going to put it to you that way in an IEP, but that is what happens all the time. So more and more families are doing speech services on the side to be able to get to where they want to get with all of that. Joanne says, we have conversation problems. Can save the conversation, can't really initiate one. Difficult to turn take appropriately. And I'm assuming that that's all stuff in your wheelhouse.
Absolutely. And we're seeing this with children who are specifically diagnosed neurodiversely. And we're seeing this also with typical developing children, but because of COVID, they missed all of this pragmatic information. They missed all of this language. So the need for speech therapy services was on the rise, and it's continuing right up on that way, because it really just became such a different world when COVID occurred.
Okay, so the first step is to go to betterspeech.com and to apply for a consultation, during which you'll get an
for sessions right there.
I'm sorry?
You can apply for sessions right there too.
Okay, Joanne says, sign me up. Hold on a second, Joanne. I think there's more information. And then once you are signed up, am I right? I know there was discussion about that we were going to have a code that they should use to say that they heard about it from Autism Live, or is that not a thing?
We can absolutely make sure, just have them type that into the comments, and I will do our very best just to confirm with my team.
Okay, so make sure that you guys say that you're with Autism Live, that you saw it on Autism Live when you apply for the consultation.
I believe it'll be in the partnership component of the show
under
notes.
the partnership. So go there and put it there, you guys. Okay. So, and then you can sign up for, one session, 2 sessions, or you can sign up for monthly. How often do you guys give a prescription at that point and say, we would like to do this much time per week, or what do you do?
Absolutely. So when I work with a client, I make a recommendation based off of the visit frequency and how much time I should work with them. So it might be 1 time a week for 30 minutes, or 1 time a week for 60 minutes, or 2 times a week for 30. So we do make a recommendation. It does not have to be followed as in this is gospel. It's recommended. You have the decision on what you would like to do from there.
Okay. And it doesn't matter what state you're in, you're going to be partnered with somebody who's licensed in your state, which that's pretty amazing. I think it's such a great idea. How long have you guys been doing this?
Well over 10 years, since long before the pandemic too. So we've been very comfortable with online, and we have an amazing platform where we use games to keep little ones engaged. And we'll hear, you can do it with a 3-year-old online? Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, I wish that I had known to be talking about that during the pandemic, but I do think that now is a key time. It's summer, y'all, and it is the time to be making up lost ground and to be, I think the truth is we've become so much more comfortable with some services and things being online. Now is the moment. So I hope you guys will visit betterspeech.com, get that free consultation. Is there anything else we need to let them know, Lenora?
As long as you go to betterspeech.com, you can click on that button and it'll offer you an option for consultation, and it'll offer you an option to initiate services, and you can get it started as early as the next day.
And keep in mind, you guys, that there is no age limit on this, because if you've got a 3-year-old and you're like, I'm waiting for that diagnosis, I'm waiting for the services, you could start this today. So many of you have 14-year-olds that you're like, I can't find anybody who will work with my 14-year-old. Well, at betterspeech.com, they will. If you are someone who is 45 and you are struggling with any portion of speech, or just knowing what to say, when to say, you can do this. So pretty amazing. And as she said, they'll give you that super bill so that you can take that to your insurance company. Lenora, this is great.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you being here. So betterspeech.com, you guys, go and check that out, and then let us know if you loved your services with them, because I always love to hear back on that. All right, you take care.
Stay well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.